special at this time of year. You'll see that my colleague Maureen has put everyone in mute because we know what it's like in schools, people popping in and out your office all the time. It's constant. So I'm just going to hand you up. My name's Fiona Gary, and it was myself and my colleague Donnie that organised today's event. And I'm pleased that Pauline Radcliffe, our CEO, is going to do some introductions, and then we'll go on with the presentations, and then we'll get plenty of time at the end for question and answers. And if there's anything comes in the chat, Donnie will be monitoring that. So if there's anything that you want to ask in the chat, Donnie and I will keep an eye on that. And if you would like to share on social media any thoughts or anything as you go along, we have a hashtag for Twitter that is capital SCQF and then the word counts if anyone would like to share in social media. And I'm just going to pass you on to Pauline to kick us off for today. Thanks, Pauline.
Well, so good morning, good afternoon even, good evening. Delighted to welcome you to this SCQF Partnership School College Partnership event on behalf of our team, and in particular on behalf of our lead officers Fiona and Donnie, who put all the work into this with Katrina and Aileen. This is a really timely event for us at the SCQF Partnership. In November, we held a really successful school ambassadors event at Holyrood Roman Catholic High School in Edinburgh, where we heard from schools and alternative qualification providers about the range of qualifications and learning pathways on offer, and explored ways that practitioners can help parents and carers to understand and utilise the language of the SCQF as part of their support for young people and the choices they need to make at school and beyond in college, university or work-based learning and employment. So this work is all part of the partnership's focus on the three themes of equity, mobility and access. And for us, that means enabling widening of learning pathways for young people centred on their needs and the different learning styles, as well as creating an environment post-school and college that recognise the value of all forms of learning and skills, using the SCQF as the leveller of the playing field. So to this end, can I extend a special warm welcome to our guest speakers today. Katrina from Glasgow Clyde College, my old stomping ground. Hello, Katrina, nice to see you. And Aileen McManus from St Paul's Roman Catholic High School. I'm certainly really looking forward to hearing from you both about the innovative partnership you've developed and the range of curriculum and onward progression solutions and the reciprocal arrangements you've developed to ensure that the right learning in the right place is available for learners in the communities that you serve, using the whole diversity of qualifications and learning programmes which are credit rated onto the SCQF. So over to you, and thank you very much.
That's great, Pauline. Thanks to Donnie and Fiona, and also Pauline for inviting us along. I'm going to try and give a short introduction to obviously the college and school partnership. We've been working with St Paul's for many years now. It's a fabulous partnership, and for us, it kind of sets in with our values in terms of recognising the wider achievement and senior phase pathways. So St Paul's is very strong in terms of giving options and working with the college to give alternative options, and obviously ensuring the parity between vocational and academic qualifications, and they are a gold ambassador. I'm going to try and share my presentation screen here for a second, and let's just see where we are. It's probably not going to work now, can't you see? If you could just let me know when it pops on. So can everyone see that? Yep. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to try and give a kind of brief introduction and set up Aileen for what she's going to discuss in terms of the school partnership with Glasgow Clyde. So I just wanted to give you a kind of brief introduction into Glasgow Clyde and obviously the partnerships that we have, especially with regards to our courses at SCQF level, and predominantly over the last 3 years to include this current year. You'll notice that in 22-23 and also 23-24, the majority of our qualifications that we delivered was sitting at SEQF level 6. Now that kind of takes into consideration FAs, because FAs are sitting at SEQF level 6, and the next predominant delivery for us was SEQF level 4. However, that's kind of changed over this current session, and you'll see the number of courses that we delivered as Glasgow Clyde for senior phase going from 62 to 48 and down to 35 this year. Now, for us, we are trying to kind of concentrate more on delivery that schools don't offer, because we are very aware, and St Paul's will, Aileen from St Paul's will kind of talk you through that, but we are very aware that schools are now diversifying into areas that was a kind of traditional area for schools and colleges to work together on, and now schools are working either delivering skills for worker NPAs on their own, or indeed they are working with other private training providers. So from a college perspective, whilst the number of courses have gone down, we are trying to offer something that's maybe a wee bit more bespoke, and we're looking at quality rather than quantity. So it doesn't worry us that the number of courses have gone from 62 to 35. It's more about the offer that we are working in partnership with schools to deliver. So as I say, we're kind of concentrating into areas that maybe schools don't deliver. And one example of that, and Aileen might mention it later on, but one example of that is we had an introduction to nursing course, and it was something that local authorities and schools were saying that they wanted. They had lots of young people who wanted to go into nursing, and there wasn't anything at college level that they could study. So Glasgow Clyde started to offer. They put together a suite of units at SEQF level 5 and 6, and they started to offer an introduction to nursing course. It wasn't a full award, but it did give young people that distinctive difference for their UCAS applications. So we used that for a little while, for a few years, and the curriculum manager for that area said it was such a shame that the young people are working so hard at getting the suite of units, but there's not an actual award at the end of it. So she went away and she worked in the background quietly for a little while with Glasgow Caledonian University, and we now have a direct pathway from school into the senior phase, introduction to nursing course, and then from that into the Glasgow Caledonian University to study nursing, which is absolutely fabulous. We're really proud of that. Looking at the number of learners, so in terms of the number of learners that we are seeing across the region, so there is the regional delivery number there, and by that what I mean is the 3 regional colleges in Glasgow. So that takes in Glasgow Clyde ourselves, it takes in City of Glasgow, and also Glasgow Kelvin. So the regional delivery and number of learners that have come to the 3 colleges over the last 3 years are 2,402 in 2022. And then dropping to 2,052, and again for this session, this current session, it's going down to 1,685, of which 513 of that is studying at Glasgow Clyde. So you can see here 513. What, for me, the interesting thing about that is that whilst the regional number of learners coming to college is going down, when you look at government statistics for our local authorities that we work with, and again, just to let you know that we predominantly work in our region, we predominantly work with Glasgow City, East Renfrewshire and Eastern Bartonshire. And when you look at government figures for these 3 local authorities, you can actually see that the number of senior phase learners is going up, so they have more learners. However, the number coming to college is going down. Now that could be because of what we've talked about earlier. It could be the private learning training providers going into schools delivering more within the school. So that's why, from a Glasgow Clyde perspective, we're trying to look at how can we diversify our offer, working in partnership with the schools, because obviously we've got that strong partnership going on, to complement the delivery and not duplicate. We're not wanting to just deliver courses because we can, and we want to make sure that young people are actually getting something from that offer. Going on to attainment again for 22-23 and 23-24, Glasgow Clyde's actually got the highest regional success rate, and it was actually quite nice because you can see in 22-23 we had 69% of our learners actually achieved their full award, and that went up last year to 72%. And for me that's actually quite poignant, because we went through an awful lot of action short of strike. We had industrial action going on, and yet the partnership with the schools and obviously our partnerships tied together and just made sure that the learners were able to still succeed, even although there was some turmoil within the sector, which was is really good. And I think the last slide from me before I actually pass over to Aileen is about the internal progression. Now, one of the things that Glasgow Clyde prides itself in is the opportunity for young people to internally progress onto the next level of a course that they have chosen. So young people are treated as internal applicants, and they don't need to complete any application if they're staying within their current area of study. So if they're actually doing hairdressing at SCQF level 4, for example, if they want to progress onto the SCQF level 5, they can do that by being treated as an internal applicant. They don't have to fill in any application forms. They simply speak to their lecturer or curriculum manager and let them know, I would really like to do the next level of study, and then we coordinate that with the schools. And I think it's really important, and St Paul's are really good at it, is getting the young person on the right course, because if we get the young person on the right course, then the opportunity, and what I say to the young people is it's your place to lose. You've got a place, and only you can lose that place by not attending, by not achieving, by not behaving. And if you have chosen the right subject, you're coming to college, you're going to have that opportunity to be able to progress on your study, and it's a great opportunity for young people. So if we get it right and we get the young person into the right course, and of course young people are going to try before they buy. They're going to think they want to be a hairdresser, but actually they want to do rocket science or something else. So of course we know that that's going to happen. It may well be that a young person is with us in S4, and actually what they've decided to do in S4 is completely different from S5, is completely different from S6. We understand that. However, when we do get it right, that young person can internally progress within the college sector, and I think that's really, really good. And looking at St Paul's in particular, 40% of learners and 36% of learners in previous years have actually gone on to further study with us. Now that might seem quite low, but again, it might be that young person is staying at school, and indeed that they're not ready to come into full-time education. So there is still a wee bit of work to do with internal progression. It's relatively new-ish. So from a college perspective, we're trying to make sure that the young people understand it, that parents understand it, because the schools, they're using it really well, and Aileen and St Paul's use that method of internal progression really well to promote that to their young people. So at that, I'm going to stop and I'm going to hand over to Aileen. So Aileen, I will move on the slide, and if you could just let me know when you want to move on, that would be great.
Thanks very much, Katrina, and thank you to everybody who's joined the call this afternoon. So my name's Aileen McManus. As Katrina said, I'm at St Paul's High School on the south side of Glasgow, and Glasgow Clyde College is not too far down the road from us. We work in partnership. We've got young people that go to 2 colleges in Glasgow. We've got City of Glasgow College as well as Glasgow Clyde College, and it's the Towards Better Futures team in Glasgow City Council that kind of liaise with the colleges to develop all the programmes that young people can join at college in their senior phase. I'll see if I can move this on. I might be able to. Oh, there we go. I can do it. So just to kind of start off, this is just to let you see where the college programmes all sit within our curriculum. So this is kind of the columns for S5 and S6. Every column has got 6 periods a week associated in the 33 period week, and you can see that the college courses, including the foundation apprenticeships, all fit in column D. So they're timetabled on Tuesday, Thursday afternoon, so that's 2 double periods. And then for the 2 single periods, I take the young people that go to college, and that's great for me because that gives me a time to do some reflection with them and check in with them that things are going okay, and look at some of their progression stats that come through from the college as well, which I'll be sharing with you shortly. Some 4th years go to college as well, and again they get it's in column D, so it's the 2 double periods in the afternoon, although they're only 4 periods, so I need to do a wee bit of work with sort of checking in with them. So how does it all work? Basically, the senior phase college course programme is a prospectus that Towards Better Futures team provide. We also get some flyers from the colleges as well, and what we do is we speak to the young people about that. It goes on Teams, we talk to them at assemblies, we have parents information evenings that we can share these with as well, so they all know about the opportunities and they can have a look at them as well on the college websites, because it's actually on their website, the actual college website, that pupils will start to apply as if they're making an actual application for even a full-time college course. So they're getting really a true experience of what it's like going to college. What I'll also say is that when we have our Careers and Pathways events, the staff at Glasgow Clyde College, City of Glasgow College as well, they're more than delighted to come along, support these events that the young people can find out about the opportunities at college. Parents and carers are usually at them as well. So there's lots of information for them to find out what suits them, and also to be able to apply. And I know as well that the college staff from Glasgow Clyde quite often come to school after that and support the young people in making applications along with myself and pastoral care staff. So this is what we kind of tell the young people about being successful. Most of the courses are, as we said, Tuesday, Thursday afternoons. There are some that are maybe on slightly different days. Timings are usually 1:30 till 4 o'clock. So that means for us that young people have to sort of go and travel there on their own. So to get there on time, we usually run taxis to get them to the college, to get them to start for their class on time at 1:30. And they know that it goes on longer than the normal school day till 4 o'clock. And that's one of the expectations really that they have to understand before they sign up. The college courses, we obviously tell them as well that they have to be committed for the full school year as a qualification that they're working towards. And it's not just going there to do a wee trial thing. They are actually working towards SCQF qualifications at levels 4, 5, 6, sometimes even 7, and they will be expected to follow a agreed code of conduct and behave like any young adult that's attending college and show manners and respect. We also have to explain to them as well that although they might be getting taxis to the college to get them there on time for the start of their class at 1:30, they will have to make their own way home with their bus passes. And as I said, Cardonald College, our campus for Glasgow Clyde, is just down the road from us, so those young people just travel independently themselves anyway without any sort of taxis. So that's kind of the sort of expectations, and we do encourage that most young people that take up the opportunity of studying at college, they have to sort of make sure as well that maybe it's best for them to do it when it's their last year of school. And a lot of that is probably because as well they're going to be more mature, and obviously Katrina as well has spoke about the internal progression opportunities for them. So really taking this opportunity in the last year of their school is probably best for them. So once they get to college and they get enrolled in their courses and they start to progress and move through the year, I'm really the teacher that takes to do with monitoring attendance and progress. And I can't say enough and praise enough Glasgow Clyde College for their portal that they've developed. So this is something that I can log into, and there's various different tabs where I can see their applications, I can see information about their progress, their attendance, and also sort of monitor all any letters of concern or anything, information that the college lets us know, or good news stories as well. So when you log in, all the courses are basically there that young people are enrolled in, and for each one there's a spreadsheet, and when you open up the spreadsheet there's 2 or 3 different tabs. So this one shows somebody's attendance, so you can see every afternoon class whether they've been there, whether they've not been there, their percentage attendance, the number of times they've been absent, etc. So that's really, really good information, especially when I'm seeing the 5th and 6th years on the 2 single periods. I can say, right, you have learner conversations, how are things going, and show them this spreadsheet and say, well, what happened? You weren't there this day or that day, and make sure that they try and get back on track. Also as well, on another tab on the spreadsheet, Glasgow Clyde College are doing reporting sort of twice a year. So this one's from August to November, and then they offer another one sort of December to March time. So this allows us to look at pupils' progress and find out about things like their behaviour, their effort, what they're doing well, what they need to do to improve, early indicators of whether they're going to pass the course or not, which is absolutely fantastic because I can then use that information to share with the young people, but also report to parents as well and be able to write reports. Also share with pastoral care and the deputy heads if they're asking how a pupil's getting on. On the other tab, there is a wee matrix about the units for the course that they're doing, and you can see quite clearly whether they've passed them or whether they're working towards them. So again, it's great information to share with the pupils, their parents, their carers, and pastoral care, and the deputies in the school as well, who are looking for that sort of information. One of the other sections on the portal is the feedback forms. So these are fantastic because sometimes I get feedback forms and there's some great news and great feedback from lecturers about how the young people are progressing. And other times there's maybe some letters of concern. So again, these are great things that we can share with everybody to support the pupil in making a success of their course and being able to achieve their qualification. So we get information if there's things about their timekeeping or their behaviour, or maybe there's just something that they're doing really well that they want to share. And there's also as well a place for me as the teacher to report back to the college on there and the actions that the school has taken to try and remove any barriers, or if there's anything that we can do together to try and support that young people being successful in their qualification in their course at college. So I had some learner conversations with some of the young people this year that are attending different college courses when I have them on the single periods, and these are some of the things that they've been saying. So as you'll be able to see, they're all really enjoying their experiences. They all really enjoy learning about new subjects, new topics that they're not getting the opportunity to learn about in school. They're all enjoying the fact as well that college for them seems to be a bit more chilled out. I think they find it a nice environment to be able to work in, and they're able to speak to their lecturers by their first name, and they feel like they're treated maybe a wee bit more grown up than what they are at school. So it's getting them ready to make the transition into the real world on leaving school. And they're also, I think, enjoying that opportunity to develop their confidence, meet new people and be in a new environment. So it's quite a positive experience for the learners if that's what they would like to do. I hope you've had a wee chance to read about most of the things that I've said. And I thought it's quite good that somebody was saying there at the bottom about complaining about the bus journeys and things like that. But that I think is a positive thing, because I suppose it gets them into the realisation of the real world that's out there, and they have to become independent travellers. So this wee clip here is a photo that came off the Glasgow Clyde Twitter, or X I should say, very recently. So this is a young person who's doing the cosmetology at SCQF level 4. Clearly she wants to be a hairdresser. She's got into this course at Cardonal campus and she's absolutely loving it, and she seems to be doing well with her lovely curls that is demonstrated in the picture that she's managed to make on her partner. Carly's really enjoying it, and I think what's been really good as well is being able to do something at college that she thinks she'd like to do in the future. She's also getting to learn some things as well that she probably didn't think was a thing in hairdressing, like learning about health and safety and how to treat customers and do everything professionally. So she's really enjoying her course. One thing that I haven't really mentioned up until this point is through the TBF programme and the partnerships with the colleges, they also offer supported learning courses for young people that have got additional support needs, that SCQF levels 1 to 3. These don't tend to be on the Tuesday, Thursday afternoons. It could be on a variety of different days during a morning or an afternoon or a full day. And we've got 3 young people at the moment who are doing these courses. 2 are doing creative comics at Glasgow Clyde College, and I think there's another young person in 4th year who is doing outdoor photography at Kelvin College. And because these are supported learning courses, and Glasgow City Council realised that they might struggle a wee bit with independent travel, they arranged transport for them. So this has been a great opportunity for our young people to thrive in a college environment where they might find school a bit hectic, a bit noisy. Some of the young people we've got on the programmes at the moment have got autism spectrum disorder. And as you can see from Sarah's comment here, it's really helping her to explore her creativity, develop her social skills and her confidence in a new environment. So she really enjoys it, and the young people that do these programmes have got great success on these too. So you can see here on this slide the variety of different qualifications that some of the young people are attaining while they're in school in senior phase. This has all been taken from Insight, so all the achievements and the successes all go on our school Insight. Lots of things, a variety of different levels, from cosmetology, legal studies, cybersecurity, television production, the intro to nursing there that Katrina was talking about earlier is there as well. Lots of different things. So they're all enjoying the variety, especially that links to the kind of careers and jobs and things that they think they might like to go into. So as Katrina mentioned already, the chance for young people to be enrolled to do these college courses as a part-time student and then be able to move internally into full-time courses in a similar subject area at the next level up the next year is absolutely fabulous. We've seen a lot of success where young people are successful on their courses, they decide the college experience is better than school, they might not want to return for 6th year or 5th year, and they move on to do the full-time courses. So you can see the list here, some young people's names from the past who have then moved up to the next level in a full-time course. And I always say to the young people when they start and throughout the year, look, if you really like this, this is like a year's long interview for you. This is a fantastic opportunity. Make sure that you turn up, follow instructions, get on well with everybody. You're classed as a part-time student when you're at college, you're a full-time student at St Paul's. This is your chance to network, be successful, make your name a good name, because look at the chances that you could have to get into full-time college courses in a career or a subject that you're interested in, where you won't need to go through an application and have an interview. So I think a lot of them take that message on board, and I think that was something that came up in the learner conversations when I spoke to a young person who's studying practical electronics this year. So they're appreciate that opportunity, and it is great success for our young people and their destinations. Just to finish off, this is Lucy. She was one of our success stories, who was studying at Glasgow Clyde at Cardano campus doing level 5 esports last year. Lucy was a very introverted young lady, very shy, some mental health issues, and she went to do the esports at level 5 at Glasgow Clyde. And as the year progressed, she seemed to find her footing. She became a lot more confident. She really enjoyed the course. She started to make some new friends as well. And the lecturers recognised the development in her social skills and her ability in the class. And as that, she got the prize for the best in class last year. So this was a photograph of her with a certificate after the awards ceremony that she was at with her mum last year. So due to that success, again, Lucy was loving college so much, she moved into the full-time course at level 6, which is esports and computing. She's still enjoying it. I managed to speak to her mum on the phone recently, and mum was just so delighted. She said college has been the making of her, and she'll be even more delighted when we're sharing her story on this presentation this evening. So that finishes off my presentation. Thanks very much for listening. I don't know if anybody's got any questions, but I'm sure Donnie will be able to direct them to Katrina and I if you have anything you want to ask.
So thank you so much, Aileen and Katrina. That was absolutely fantastic. It really has got a lot of questions in my mind, and I'm sure there will be lots of questions from those that are attending, and also an encouragement for everybody if they've also got other ideas and examples of good practice that they want to share or ask about. That would be really useful as well, because it's a good forum for doing that. Whilst you all think about what your questions are, and if you put up your hands, we'll try and make sure that we pick everybody up. I'll start by asking a question of Katrina and Aileen, and that's really just around what's really impressing. Always very impressive when we hold these events is that is the genuine partnership and the priority on doing what's best for the learners rather than what's best for the institution. And I wonder how you went about when you were first evolving the partnership, overcoming maybe some of the more gatekeeping-y type attitudes that might have been prevalent in your own school and college stakeholders about, oh, but that's ours. Do we want to share? Do we want to give up on that? Particularly given the trajectory of some of those statistics that Katrina shared at the beginning. I'd be really interested in hearing your views on that.
Yeah, I think Pauline, the kind of word gatekeeping is actually quite a good one, because I think we're maybe experiencing that still. I think we're trying to certainly evolve in terms of Glasgow Clyde, because we're aware that schools are moving into, they're trying to add breadth and depth to their curriculum within the school, and it's not about us trying to gatekeep, it's about us trying to kind of work in partnership to see, okay, what areas can we evolve into, and particularly for Glasgow Clyde, for example, and it's not a St Paul's example yet, but it's maybe something that we could talk about in the future. And we've tried to again look at the delivery of this particular examples in the NPE and travel and tourism. And what we've done is, instead of kind of fighting against the school and saying, why do you want to deliver that? We are working in partnership with the school, and what they're doing is they're delivering 2 units that they are very au fait with. They know inside out, and that's geography units, and the college is delivering 2 units, which is the ground operations and the airline cabin crew. With the best will in the world, schools might want to deliver some of these areas, but don't have the expertise to be able to do it and do it properly. And I think maybe that's an area that we are certainly looking into, working more in partnership with schools to try and not gatekeep, but work and not fight against, but work with, because I think that's very important moving forward. I hope that answers your question, Pauline.
Yes, it does, absolutely. It's a very difficult landscape at the moment as well, but that we're all operating in. So, but it's really encouraging, and I think the idea of evolving into new areas is really critical as well. Very interesting to hear, particularly this different unit approach. So, do we have any more questions? I'm not seeing everybody on. Is there any hands up? Fiona.
Yes, I wanted to pick up on you mentioned the transitions and how you find, like, pupils who have come through the school-college partnership route, if they transition to college, do you find, what's the journey like for them compared to someone who's just come straight in fresh to college? That's probably for you, Katrina.
Yeah, so there's lots of areas that and there's one thing that's kind of come up in my mind at the moment, and I work particularly well with Aileen on this. So there's young people, so say even there's young people who want to leave school a bit earlier, and they want to leave to come to college. Glasgow Clyde will work with a school if a young person's wanting to come out before the compulsory end date. So we would work with people maybe up until 6 months prior to their compulsory education leaving date. We would take them into full-time education. We would work with Aileen in terms of still do the reporting, so they would stay on the school roll, but they would come with us at college. They would do their college, and they would then transition. But I think that, as I say, something that jumped into my mind is that the school always has an eye on them. So the portal allows that to happen, and again, work in partnership, that Aileen can go in and look and make sure that they're coming full time to us and they're attending, etc., etc. So I think the transition is different for everybody. And there's lots of different examples that the college and school work with. I think one that's jumping out is obviously the young person that maybe wants to leave school a little bit earlier. And that's a really good transition for them, that we still, Aileen can still obviously have sight of them and make sure that they're attending if school's just not for them at that particular time.
Yeah, I mean, so going on from what you said there, Katrina, it has been fantastic for some of our young people who maybe attended college in 4th year, and the way their birthday falls, they're a winter leaver, so they can't actually leave school until December time in 5th year. But if they've done a college programme and been successful at Glasgow Clyde, despite, and I can think in 2 examples straight off for this year, I've actually been contacting the college just now and looking at the portal and saying, right, they're coming off the roll now. I know they're in full time. Are they still okay? Are they still progressing? And we know that they're still enrolled, so they can come off a roll, and we know that they're still doing okay. But in general, in terms of transitions, I think the fact that the young people have the opportunity to study within the college environment, they get to see the environment, they get to know their way around a bigger building, they get to meet lecturers, they get to meet other students, they get to see that it's mainly adults that are in the college environment and other sort of older young people. So actually you know, sort of their social skills, their confidence, their self-confidence within that setting. The whole experience within that year of working towards those qualifications, I think, supports a smooth transition from leaving school and makes them more ready to be able to sustain and know that that's where they want to go, and they can sustain it and be successful in full time.
That's great, thanks. Because it was interesting, the comment about getting the bus. I'm thinking, well, you need to get into the real world where everyone gets the bus. Oh, that was
that's
great.
right.
Great presentation. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, we do a
story,
lot in schools, you know, to support young people, but you know, you need to let the umbilical cords go a wee bit, and they have to become adults. So it was an interesting comment. I thought it was just something I would share.
Probably someone who's used to getting a lift. You know, because when I was at school, it was walk everywhere, but it's changed days. Thank you for that.
So I'm not seeing any hands at the moment. So, but I was just going to say, is that Louise Hayward? So I'm sure, yeah, lovely to see you, Louise. Fire away.
And you, can I first of all say thank you very much for such an interesting presentation. It was really, really fascinating. I've got so many questions, but I'm going to limit myself, if you don't mind, with one, and if there's time, I'll go for a second one. But the first one is, it was fabulous to see the examples of, you know, of young people having pathways that would give them an enthusiasm for education that perhaps school traditionally might not have given them. I also noticed really interestingly, though, that within that cohort, you had young people. There was one of the quotations where I think she was going on to do criminology. You know, it was so, and I wondered, I often am challenged about the difficulties of engaging with parents when you're talking about anything other than the higher. And I wondered, obviously you've been really successful in opening up the wider gambit of qualifications. And I wondered if you might share with us how you've done that.
Well, I think being part of the SCQF Ambassador Programme is 110% helped with that. We're now at our gold level and doing all the work that we've done with Donnie and having our senior school ambassadors over the last number of years that we've been doing this. The senior school ambassadors have promoted the SCQF framework. They've talked about their own pathways. They've talked about their plan Bs if they don't get into university, how they can go to college first and then get the courses that get you into the second year of university, which are enhanced HNCs. And they talk about that not just at assemblies during our careers and pathways focused fortnights for each year group, but they also do those presentations with parents and carers at parents information evenings when it's options time. We're also delighted with a partnership at Glasgow Clyde that we've even had senior staff in the school who have came to speak to staff our staff meetings about their enhanced courses that support getting into university, and we've also had them come to speak at parents and carers parents information evenings as well. So I think doing all that work, we've broken down a lot of the barriers, and I think a lot of young people realise as well now when they're doing their NPAs, especially those ones at level 6, they can see how they can add them on their UCAS application forms, and they can see quite clearly on the college websites that they're accepted to get into like an HNC at level 7. So I think all that work that we've been doing as a whole school with the SCQF Ambassador Programme has really helped to break down those barriers. So I hope that's kind of answered your question.
That's really helpful. Can I ask how long that took? How long you think it took from one place to where you are now, which is obviously such a constructive, positive way of looking at the world?
Well, I think maybe after the COVID, we sort of started really working on our curriculum and looking at it to support the needs of young people. We did have various different partnerships, but with different organisations and the college anyway. But we kind of expanded that, and we're challenging all, you know, our faculty heads and departments and faculties to think, right, if somebody can't get a national 5 or a higher, what other kind of qualifications could they maybe achieve? And it evolves all the time, and we get new staff that are interested in new qualifications. We get staff that are maybe got more time to look into different qualifications they can offer. So that's what one of our deputy heads is looking at just now. The pathways booklet that we have is out to staff to say, look, this is what you offered last year. We're going to be starting the options process after the Christmas holidays. Is there anything different that you want to change? And we need to edit our pathways booklet, which is our new interactive way of looking at options, and for young people and their parents and carers to be able to look at the different pathways that they can follow through studying the qualifications that we're offering in school.
Yeah, can I just add on to that as well, just picking up on the point of Glasgow Clyde staff working with St Paul's staff, and I think that is really important, because the college has lots of articulation agreements, they have lots of pathways that are kind of recorded and written down, and I think for school staff to be able to understand that was really good. And St Paul's was the first school that we actually went out and spoke to. And that was one of our assistant principals, Robert. He had gone out, and he was amazed by probably the amount of information that was taken in on that they don't know what they don't know. And I think from that sense, it was really, really pertinent for us as well to have an understanding of what school staff didn't know about the kind of pathways, because they're influencers. So obviously they are able to influence parents, but they're also able to influence young people as well. So to give them an understanding was a real kind of light bulb moment for us, I think. And Robert was really, after that, he wanted to go out and visit more schools. I think it just kind of came about, Aileen, didn't it? We were talking and it was like, oh, Robert will come out and see you, we'll come out and have a chat. It was very informal, and from that it kind of was, right, okay, I think we need to do a wee bit more with schools around this. So yeah, it was, as I say, St Paul's was the first one that we spoke to, and it was very important to get school staff to understand it, I think.
Yeah, so in terms of time that you were asked, because I started off saying sort of after COVID, and when we were working with Donny, we were very delighted that we seemed to go straight to the silver level and bypass bronze, and then it was all guns going, you know, to try and achieve our gold status, and all the work that Katrina's talked about with the staff at the college has really helped with that.
Thank you very much. That's just fab.
If there are no more questions, which I don't think there are, that was great. Thanks for those really informative answers as well, really helpful. I'll pass back over to, no, I won't. I'll wind up what I'm going to say, and then I'll pass back to Donny and Fiona. So yeah, just a huge thank you to Katrina and Aileen. Thank you so much for that insight into what you're doing. There's so many themes that had also come up at the previous event that we held in November, Donny, that was really ringing bells for me. And obviously the crucial importance of that influencing of parents and carers about the diversity of options, that college is a really good option for a lot of young people. And yeah, to get away from the gold standard that the higher is everything. So really, really interesting stuff. I'm going to, there's loads of stuff and information and case studies on our website, and I think probably Donny will highlight the Padlet as well for a lot of up-to-date information on what we're doing with School Ambassadors. So thank you so much, and I'll hand back to Donny and Fiona.
Thanks, Pauline. That was so helpful. And thanks again, just to echo what you said there, Pauline. Thanks to Katrina and to Aileen. That was absolutely fascinating. I'll have so much to take away. I knew quite a lot already, but I'm still picking up information from the two of you every time I listen to what's happening at St Paul's and Glasgow Clyde as well. great questions there too, particularly around parents. That really resonates with me and all the work that we do. But just to finish off, if you want to follow up with us at SCQF and see where we can support you as well, feel free, any schools on the call, to get in touch with me. I'll pop my email address in the chat, and if any colleges on the call want to get in touch with Fiona as well, we're always looking to support, particularly around collaboration and highlighting some of these brilliant examples like the Glasgow Clyde and St Paul's example. So really hope you enjoyed the call and picked up lots of ideas and information, and feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll pop our information on the Padlet as well, and check out our new website and our social media as well. But thank you very, very much for attending, and hopefully catch up soon.
Yep, thanks very much. It's been a really informative session, and I hope I did okay putting your slides there, Aileen. I was clicking forward your slides, so excellent. Thanks very much.
Thanks,
Thank you so
everyone.
much, and have
Thank
a
you.
great